Elisa Lam was a young woman full of curiosity, creativity, and a deep desire to explore the world. Born in Vancouver, Canada, she was known among friends and family as intelligent, kind, and thoughtful. Elisa loved writing, photography, and sharing her thoughts online. Like many young people her age, she dreamed of independence and adventure, believing that travel would help her understand herself and the world better. In early 2013, she decided to take a solo trip across California, a journey she hoped would be both healing and inspiring. Elisa checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place with a long and controversial history. At the time, Elisa was staying in shared accommodation, but hotel staff later moved her to a private room after other guests complained about her unusual behavior. She was alone in a city she barely knew, navigating unfamiliar streets while dealing with personal mental health struggles. Despite this, she kept in touch with her family daily, reassuring them that everything was fine. During her stay, Elisa explored Los Angeles, visited local attractions, and posted updates online. But behind the scenes, something seemed off. Her behavior became increasingly erratic, and those around her noticed sudden mood changes. Still, no one could have imagined the tragedy that was about to unfold. On January 31, 2013, Elisa Lam vanished without warning. That day, she was last seen inside the hotel. When she failed to check out and stopped contacting her parents, concern quickly turned into panic. Her family contacted the Los Angeles Police Department, reporting her missing. Almost immediately, the case attracted attention due to the mysterious circumstances surrounding her disappearance. The police launched a full search operation. Officers searched the hotel, nearby streets, rooftops, and surrounding buildings. Missing person flyers with Elisa's face were distributed throughout the city. Hotel guests and employees were questioned, but no clear leads emerged. It was as if Elisa had disappeared into thin air. As days passed with no answers, investigators made a decision that would later shock the world. Surveillance footage from one of the hotel's elevators was released to the public in hopes of identifying anyone who might have seen Elisa. The video showed Elisa behaving in a strange and unsettling manner. She stepped in and out of the elevator, pressed multiple buttons, hid in the corner, and made odd hand movements, as if she were talking to someone who wasn't there.
The elevator footage quickly went viral. Millions of people around the world watched it, analyzing every second. Theories flooded the internet. Some believed she was being followed. Others thought she was experiencing a mental health episode. Darker theories suggested foul play, supernatural involvement, or a hidden presence in the hotel. The footage raised more questions than answers and transformed Elisa's disappearance into one of the most talked about mysteries of the decade. Meanwhile, the search continued. Police used dogs to scan the hotel, but strangely, they did not alert to anything significant at the time. The hotel itself remained operational, with guests staying unaware that a missing woman case was unfolding within the same walls. Days turned into weeks, and hope slowly began to fade. Then, an unexpected complaint changed everything. Guests at the Cecil Hotel began reporting problems with the water supply. They described low water pressure, dark-colored water, and an unpleasant taste. Maintenance staff were sent to investigate the issue, unaware of the horrifying discovery that awaited them. On February 19, 2013, nearly 3 weeks after Elisa Lam vanished, her body was found inside one of the hotel's rooftop water tanks. The discovery shocked not only investigators but the entire world. The same building that had been searched now revealed the answer everyone feared. Elisa Lam was dead. The revelation raised disturbing questions. How did she reach the roof? How did she access the water tank, which was reportedly difficult to open? Why hadn't she been found earlier? And most importantly, was her death an accident, or was someone responsible? The public reaction was intense. Fear, anger, and confusion spread rapidly. People questioned the hotel's security, the police investigation, and the circumstances surrounding Elisa's final moments. Her parents were devastated, struggling to accept how their daughter could die alone in such a horrifying way, thousands of miles from home. Elisa Lam's story became more than a missing person case. It became a global phenomenon, symbolizing fear, mystery, and unanswered questions. Her face, captured in that elevator footage, haunted viewers and sparked endless debates. For many, Elisa represented the vulnerability of young women traveling alone and the hidden dangers that can exist in unfamiliar places. At this point, the world had only fragments of the truth. The investigation was far from over, and the most important questions remained unanswered. What really happened to Elisa Lam inside the Cecil Hotel? Was it a tragic accident, a failure of systems, or something far darker? Her story was only beginning to unfold. After Elisa Lam's body was discovered inside the water tank, the atmosphere around the Cecil Hotel changed instantly. What had once been a place filled with unanswered questions now became the center of global shock and fear. Police sealed off the rooftop, forensic teams arrived, and investigators began reconstructing Elisa's final days with intense scrutiny. Every detail mattered, because the circumstances of her death were unlike anything they had seen before. The first priority was understanding how Elisa could have reached the rooftop. Access to the roof required either a key or triggering an alarm fire escape. Investigators reviewed hotel security procedures and interviewed staff. Some employees admitted that security at the hotel was poorly maintained, with alarms that did not always function properly. This raised serious concerns about how easily someone could access restricted areas without being noticed. An autopsy was conducted shortly after the discovery. The medical examiner reported that there were no signs of physical trauma, no defensive wounds, and no evidence of sexual assault. The cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning. Toxicology reports showed that Elisa had not consumed alcohol or illegal drugs. These findings ruled out homicide in the traditional sense, but they did not eliminate the mystery. The public struggled to accept that such a bizarre series of events could be explained as an accident. As details of the autopsy were released, attention turned to Elisa's mental health history. It was confirmed that she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, conditions she had openly discussed on her personal blog. Investigators stated that she may not have been taking her medication consistently during her trip. Experts suggested that a mental health episode could explain her behavior and the elevator footage and her actions leading up to her death. Despite these explanations, the public remained divided. Many questioned how Elisa could climb into a large water tank by herself, especially since early reports claimed the tank lid was closed. Later clarifications revealed that at least one tank lid had been found open, contradicting earlier assumptions. This confusion fueled conspiracy theories, with some people insisting that hotel staff or an unknown individual must have been involved. The internet exploded with speculation. Online forums dissected the elevator video frame by frame. Some viewers believed Elisa was hiding from someone, while others argued she was responding to hallucinations. Paranormal theories surfaced, connecting the Cecil Hotel's dark history to Elisa's death. These theories spread rapidly, often overshadowing official statements and causing distress to Elisa's family. Police held press conferences to address public concerns. They emphasized that no evidence pointed to foul play and urged the public to respect the facts of the case. Still, the unusual nature of Elisa's death made it difficult for many to accept a simple explanation. The lack of surveillance footage on the rooftop, combined with the hotel's history of crime and neglect, kept suspicions alive. Elisa's parents faced unimaginable grief. In addition to losing their daughter, they were forced to watch her final moments being endlessly replayed and analyzed online. They expressed frustration with the hotel's safety measures and filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Cecil Hotel. The lawsuit alleged that the hotel failed to properly secure the rooftop, maintain functioning alarms, and provide adequate supervision for guests. During the legal proceedings, more troubling details emerged. Testimonies revealed that the hotel was aware of its security issues long before Elisa's death. Employees admitted that the rooftop was often accessible to guests. These revelations shifted some of the responsibility away from Elisa and toward institutional negligence. Although the case did not result in criminal charges, it highlighted serious failures in safety and accountability. Over time, the investigation concluded that Elisa's death was a tragic accident influenced by mental health struggles and poor hotel security. While this explanation brought closure for authorities, it did little to ease the pain felt by the public and Elisa's loved ones. The idea that a young woman could die in such a terrifying and isolated manner continued to haunt people worldwide. The Cecil Hotel itself became a symbol of danger and neglect. Guests canceled reservations, documentaries were produced, and the building's reputation deteriorated further. Elisa Lam's story transformed the hotel into a global warning about hidden risks, especially for vulnerable individuals traveling alone. For many, Elisa's case exposed a larger issue, the lack of understanding and support for mental health. Her story sparked conversations about how mental illness is often misunderstood, ignored, or sensationalized. Advocates argued that Elisa deserved compassion, not conspiracy theories. They emphasized the importance of awareness, treatment, and empathy. Although no one was criminally convicted for Elisa Lam's death, her case forced institutions, travelers, and society to reflect. Questions about safety, responsibility, and mental health care became central to discussions surrounding her story. The investigation may have ended on paper, but the impact of her death continued to grow. Elisa Lam was no longer just a missing person or a mystery. She became a symbol of vulnerability, curiosity, and the dangers that can exist when systems fail. Her story moved beyond the walls of the Cecil Hotel and entered global consciousness, setting the stage for conversations that would continue long.
In the years following Elisa Lam's death, her story continued to echo far beyond the walls of the Cecil Hotel. What began as a missing person case had evolved into a global conversation about vulnerability, mental health, safety, and how society responds to tragedy. Elisa's face, frozen in the final moments captured by the elevator camera, became a symbol that people around the world could not forget. Public interest in her case never truly faded. Documentaries, podcasts, articles, and discussions revisited every detail, not to sensationalize her death, but to understand how such a tragedy could occur in plain sight. Many began to see Elisa not as a mystery, but as a young woman who needed protection, compassion, and understanding. Her story encouraged a shift in perspective from fear-driven speculation to empathy-driven awareness. One of the most lasting impacts of Elisa Lam's story was its effect on conversations about mental health. Elisa had openly discussed her struggles online, and after her death, many recognized how brave she had been to speak about her experiences. Mental health advocates emphasized that her behavior should never have been treated as entertainment or a puzzle to solve. Instead, it should have been seen as a call for care and support. Her case helped break stigmas and encouraged others to speak openly about their own struggles. The Cecil Hotel itself underwent significant changes. Its reputation, already dark before Elisa's death, became permanently linked to her story. Eventually, the hotel closed for renovations and was later rebranded in an effort to distance itself from its past. Yet, for many, the building would always remain a reminder of how negligence and lack of proper safeguards can contribute to tragedy. Elisa's death forced property owners and hospitality industries to reevaluate safety protocols, particularly in buildings with vulnerable guests. Elisa's parents continued to seek peace in the aftermath of their loss. While no legal outcome could undo what happened, they hoped that sharing their daughter's story would help prevent similar tragedies. Their grief transformed into a quiet form of advocacy, reminding the world that behind every headline is a family shattered by loss. Elisa was not just a case file, she was a daughter, a friend, and a young woman with dreams. Online communities also evolved in response to her story. While early discussions were often filled with speculation and extreme theories, later conversations became more respectful and reflective. Many people expressed regret for treating her death as a mystery rather than a human tragedy. This shift demonstrated how public awareness can mature over time, moving from curiosity to compassion. Elisa Lam's story also became a warning for solo travelers. Her experience highlighted the importance of personal safety, mental health awareness, and choosing accommodations carefully. Travel communities began sharing resources, advice, and support for those traveling alone, especially young women. Elisa's story served as a reminder that adventure should never come at the cost of safety and support. Beyond travel and mental health, her case raised questions about institutional responsibility. The failures of hotel security, emergency response systems, and oversight became part of broader discussions about accountability. While no criminal charges were filed, the scrutiny pushed institutions to acknowledge their role in protecting individuals under their care. Elisa's death showed how systems, when neglected, can fail those who need them most. Despite the sorrow surrounding her story, Elisa Lam's legacy is not defined solely by tragedy. It is defined by the conversations she inspired, the awareness she brought, and the empathy she awakened in people across the world. Her life encouraged others to speak openly, seek help, and look out for one another. In this way, Elisa's voice was not silenced, it was amplified. Years later, people still remember Elisa Lam not for how she died, but for what her story taught the world. She reminded society that mental health matters, that safety should never be overlooked, and that compassion must come before judgment. Her story continues to serve as a lesson, urging communities to protect the vulnerable and listen more closely to those who may be struggling. Elisa Lam's journey ended far too soon, but her impact endures. Through awareness, reflection, and change, her life continues to matter. Her story stands as a powerful reminder that every individual deserves understanding, care, and dignity, especially in moments when they need it most.